Nick Denton is one of the most transfixing figures in media, in part because he came as an outsider. He was a Brit, and he tried his hand at Silicon Valley, even built and sold a company or two, and he came to New York and decided not to play by the rules.
We've gotten to 100 million global visitors per month. We've created a media company which is distinctive, that tells stories that other people don't tell, has 7 great brands, and has made a real big impact on the media without having been pumped up by outside capital or without being inflated by bought traffic.
People ask why I say Nick Denton's a hypocrite. I would argue because he's clever. He's always argued for radical transparency. He leaks all his own memos. He's into people discussing what you're not supposed to talk about. Yet when it came to his own finances, he has some secrets. All the profits he made were made in Hungary overseas through a foreign subsidiary. And meanwhile, his website, Valleywag, every couple months would rail against Apple, rail against Google for hiding their taxes. He was doing the same thing. These days, everyone calls themselves a tech company because that's fashionable to do. The difference with Gawker is they really were a tech company. They weren't just saying it. Nick Denton built their own platform. He built a special website that distributed content. They monetized it. They pivoted with their product. They hired and fired people like crazy. They didn't really care. Let's move fast and break things. Let's build. Let's get rich. Sort of that's how Silicon Valley operates. While proclaiming a sense of mission, we're going to expose things, we're going to make a better world, we're going to do news reporting, but at the same time there's a lot of self-interest there, and including in the tax structure. How did Hulk Hogan bring down Gawker? It was sort of dastardly clever what Thiel, who was bankrolling it, did. What they did was pin Nick Denton down in Florida State Court. Who do you think the jurors down there are going to side with? The local boy who's embarrassed Hulk Hogan? Or Nick Denton, this New York City gay man who publishes gossip? And the jury hit them. They hit them with $140 million. Under Florida law, before you can appeal, you have to post a bond. In this case, $50 million, which Gawker doesn't have. And in the meantime, Hulk Hogan can come and start seizing his assets. So to get away from that, they filed for bankruptcy. Denton's not broke. The company's not broke. However, this is a device simply to escape that Florida judgment for now until they can appeal, where the case might be overturned, or almost certainly that $140 million award will get slashed enormously. A lot of people today are cheering that Gawker's destroyed, that Nick Denton's been brought low. Let's think about the precedent too of allowing a billionaire to come in, use the US litigation system to wreck media companies. They can do it to Gawker, they can do it to the New York Times. So I think before we jump too hard on Nick Denton and celebrate Gawker's demise, let's keep that point in mind.